Hey, Mr. Heat fan, I think they're ready for us. You ready?
Let's get it.
So, what's up, everyone? Welcome to an amazing episode of We Got Next with two of the greatest hosts in the world, Steven at Steven_Springs, and the one, the only, the one that'll always find a way to have an excuse for something, Hayes at AO Shifty. So, welcome, everyone. I'm glad that you're wearing that jersey, Steven, for numerous reasons, because I don't really think I know of a better town or city than Miami and like the Southern Florida area. We'll dive into it later as to why, but the Heat are in the playoffs, Panthers, and they just got somebody like a locked and loaded person that a lot of people didn't think they were going to get. But before we go there, I want to just reset everything, just let everyone know. So we start off with the hot topic, then we go into some finance things, and these financial topics we're going to talk about are going to segue into what's going to happen in sports. While we're doing that, we do have the game on, so the Heat and Nuggets will be on. So for those that listen to the recording of this later on, you will hear our reactions to everything that's been going on. And then the other thing is I will be paying attention to the Texas Rangers game. I need like 3 different players to end up getting a hit. And if they get a hit, I will announce why. I'm very excited about that. But until then,
Yeah, probably because you won $5, right?
no. It's a lot more than $5. You might maybe want to multiply that by 100.
Yeesh. This guy.
so, so I want to start off with our hot topic. And so the hot topic for today is LaShawn McCoy. And I texted you LaShawn McCoy just because he's supposed to be rumored as one of the front runners for the seat across from Skip Bayless on Undisputed. And if anyone recalls on the last episode, we talked I more so was like, I hope it's not LaShawn McCoy. You said Acho might be the person, and I was kind of believing that. We both were correct that they were going to stay in-house with it. So far, they haven't gone outside or externally with any of this. But the other thing was they were talking about kind of like Nick Wright as another mention that could have been a player could have been a player for that spot. What are your thoughts on if he does get it? Of course, this is all kind of like speculation right now. Anything can end up happening.
I don't like LaShawn McCoy, and I will say that a lot of people share that sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a goof. I've never liked him. College pros, never
Go
liked
Shady
him.
Dude.
Although he was nice in high school. He's from the Harrisburg area. Jay Hill knows him.
Mm-hmm.
With the Bishop McDevitt High School. And man, he tore us up. I think with
Oh
my
yeah.
eighth
Hell
grade years,
yes.
man, had like 3 bills on us and like 5 touchdowns. It was he was nice in college, but um, I've just heard a lot about him and just like you know, seeing some stuff. Just not a fan. So I would not that I watch it anyways, and not that I would watch it like if they picked Acho or like Nick Wright. I still wouldn't. I mean, they can put Jessica Alba in there. I probably wouldn't watch it, but they're gonna go with whoever they think is gonna get good ratings. And I don't know if McCoy would be that guy. Like I don't know. Like, I haven't watched him enough. Maybe you can answer this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know what his like Shannon Sharp has a really good scope of like what he can talk about and what he can, you know, bring to the table. And obviously the football aspect of things, but like it seems like he's pretty good about going down the path of other sports and
Mm-hmm.
giving like good informed opinions about other sports that are going on or other topics that are going on. I don't know if McCoy can do that. You can maybe answer that for me. But I haven't watched enough of him like on TV as an analyst to give a give an opinion about that. I can give an opinion
Mm-hmm.
about him and like how I feel about him, but in terms of his knowledge and like the depths that he can go to, I don't know about that. Do you?
He
Because I know
doesn't seem to
he's on with Nick Wright, um, Joy
Joy.
Taylor,
Yeah.
and who?
There's another guy. I don't know who that other person is.
Nonetheless, I
Um,
mean, Nick Wright's pretty knowledgeable. He can be annoying sometimes, but he's knowledgeable. He's energetic and all that. Um, but I don't know. I haven't watched enough. I've just seen the clips that they usually put on Twitter, when they're talking about something big, and it's like a minute and a half clip. So that doesn't really give me much perspective on him. But would it like? Do you watch enough of him to know if he's like a good? I guess the question is he a good candidate for it? Like, sure, he'll probably bring in ratings because he's a former All-Pro running back. And he's got,
but he's not like people don't even tune into that show. Respectfully, people don't tune into the show that Joy Taylor and them are on. For LaShawn McCoy,
yeah, right.
They tune into it. So one, it's Emmanuel Acho, LaShawn McCoy, Joy Taylor, and then I guess Nick Wright like guest stars sometimes on it as well. But the big thing is he doesn't have that voice of, oh, I want to really hear his opinions. I don't even care to hear his opinions.
No, I don't care.
From a Fox representative.
No, I don't care.
I'd rather end up hearing like Chris Broussard or Nick Wright. I don't even care for them, but those two, hell, I'll even kind of listen to what one of the Acho brothers will say. And that's even pushing it.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard like LaShawn McCoy doesn't come off as that strong personality. And maybe that's what they want. I guess LaShawn McCoy might be the same as when they had Max Kellerman. And then Stephen A was like, all right, I'm done with this. Maybe Skip just needs something to fill in that spot for a little bit.
Well, and I'm sure he'll have the biggest hand in who they bring in next, right? Mm-hmm. They have to. He has to. He's got guy. Shout out to D Wade. Yeah. Where are you at? Where are you at in the action right now?
Like, same thing. When you said is that D Wade, I'm looking at D Wade at the same time.
All right. I'm at the 6:09 mark.
So they haven't showed the time yet.
All right, I'm at the 6 minute mark now.
You're like 10 seconds ahead of me.
All right, word.
Yeah, okay. But so that was the big thing I wanted to talk about there. Just really quick, I want to segue into some things that I just have to like talk about in terms of finance. One, we'll start off with the one since it was a hot topic, and this is like the financial hot topic. Did you hear about the Apple VR headset?
Bro, I was my first thought, like I saw that drop, and while like that's cool, I saw that price tag and I was like, oh my God, ain't no way they're going to put like a 16-month payment on that, bro. Like that's
$3,500.
That's more than that, bro. That is more than my mortgage. A pair of goggles that I might use like 4 or 5 times a year. That shit is more than my mortgage. That doesn't make any sense. That should not be a thing. I know the technology is crazy. I know that's a whole other universe that you're jumping into with that type of shit. Like something that we've thought about for decades, and now it's finally here, type of thing. Like, no, it should not cost more than my mortgage.
Did you see the technology in it? Like, did you see how they went through the whole display and sample of
nuts. It doesn't even, like,
it's insane.
It does. I can only imagine how long they've been working on that. Like for a long time, probably. And that's one of those things, like everyone, like that's virtual reality. Like I want to be able to like have that and like sit courtside at a game and, like sit there and like watch the game courtside and have like, because they have that type of stuff. I think it's like the type of TV you have, or like whatever it might be, the Oculus or some shit like that, whatever the hell it's called. I want more of that. I don't want just like Facebook goggles or some shit, but there's no way it should cost more than my mortgage.
No, I was looking at that. The technology is sick. I personally wouldn't pay for it unless one of these Bitcoin things flies through the roof. I'm not really going to pay for it. But it did look nice. But $3,500.
Hell, of course it does.
It did.
$3,500. Like it should be dope. It should be the coolest thing on the market.
And the craziest thing is, I don't even think they're done with the technology of it. I really think they're going to get to the point of kind of how Iron Man's glasses were. I really think they're trying to figure out how do we make these almost into sunglasses, or like it's so much sleeker because it's still in a bulky phase. It reminds me of the different cars, how they were all bulky, and then you started to see them slim it down, and then that sleek look came along.
Do you remember the Google lenses or the Google glasses that came out like within the last 10 years? I think they were just like glasses, and I forget like what all they did, but they were just like what you and I have on right now, just regular glasses. and it was like you just like it like displayed on the lens or some shit like that. That didn't take off like I thought it was going to, because I thought
No.
that was like the future type of thing. How
Hmm.
you like you have your Apple Watch, and like that's a crazy technology too. Like the Apple Watch, that's pretty fucking nuts. So you can like do
I know.
everything on your watch basically. Like like that doesn't make any sense
Yes.
either. But
I didn't
now
know.
like you'll be able to do everything with your eyes eventually. Like you'll be
That's
able to
what they
get
were showing.
lenses, or
You
you'll
can
be able to get
almost, oh my
everything.
gosh. Yeah, it's insane. Because I was looking at the technology in it, and they were showing you can almost, of course, it's not going to be your basic model to do this, but with
Sure.
your eyes, you can like switch through the icons. And I'm just thinking, I think that's cool, but that's a little concerning
Yeah.
because they're just gonna
Weird.
know everything about you. So they talk about this in China. For everyone that doesn't know, like in China, they can pick up a robber off a street corner because they have all this facial recognition stuff over there. And they're going to be able to, this is one of the steps that they need to do in order to get to that point. And some people don't realize all this, like they wanted facial recognition. So then you can have your phone facial recognition. Then you can have this on your face. One thing I did love is you can watch a movie with them on and you can like zone out everything else so that the glasses just show everything in a big ass picture. I thought that was dope. Um, so that's just one thing I wanted to bring up over there. The other part I wanted to bring up in terms of just kind of what's been going on. So NVIDIA, of course, when we were growing up, the big major chip company was Intel. Everyone knew of like Intel being in your computers. It was always like on the side of the laptop that said like Intel inside. But NVIDIA's come up there and also AMD. NVIDIA kind of, I was hearing they hit an all-time high recently, which was a big thing, especially in the market. And the other big part about that is NVIDIA hitting their all-time high right now. They went up 100% this year alone. And that's one of those things that's unheard of for stocks to run up 100% in a year. Normally, they say on a good year, a stock will end up going 20%. Like that's normally one of those things of, yo, this is absolutely amazing. And then today is ex-dividend day, but they said that they've just been doing so well in terms of sales and everything. So they started off the year around like 147 on January 4th. They closed at 147, 146. They're currently at 377. So they hit a 2x in a year, and not that many people probably believe that would happen. Yeah, year to date is 156% it went up. So that's something else I wanted to bring up. A lot of times to bring up the crypto and stock side of things. And with that being said, I'm going to go over into one of the biggest L's and flops that I've probably taken in my whole entire life. So did I tell you about NFT called Ordinal Maxi Business?
No, I'm
Probably
afraid
didn't.
that
Okay.
I'm afraid for this one.
Okay. So
Okay.
and I love the guy, like ZK Shark is a homie. I will openly admit that I faded him fully and should have never done it. I saw when it was worth 0.5 Bitcoin. So that is essentially, just for our numbers, 13, 14,000. Had the money and everything. I was like, bet I'm going to end up getting into this. I just have it in my account. And then something in me just waited too long. So I'm trying to bring it up so I can show you guys, because currently now an Ordinal Maxi business is worth 4 Bitcoin. So it's worth over $100,000. And I was showing someone else what I'm gonna show you all, and they were like, I don't really get it. Well, for starters, nobody's gonna understand because it's not the picture of the NFT that's supposed to be the big thing. It's actually the utility and resources behind it. So this is so these are the drawings. And and it's not the drawings that you're supposed to pay attention to. Like the drawings don't mean anything.
Good.
But
Good. Good.
but it's on Bitcoin. And the important part is, so the range number is what people need to pay attention to. So any inscription under 100,000 is one of the more rare ones that down the line people are going to pay a big importance to. They have different ones that I was learning about. They have common, uncommon, rare, epic, and then of course they have the Nakamoto ones, and they have the PSATs. So the PSATs are the pizza Satoshis. And for everyone that doesn't know, someone paid 10,000 Bitcoin and ended up buying pizza from Papa John's. Well, if you look at that now, that was probably one of the worst things that ever happened in life. The other thing is Nakamoto Satoshis are the ones that Satoshi Nakamoto himself ended up like inscribing onto the blockchain. But ZK Shark and then a couple other people were able to end up getting a lower number. So that's one part of it. And the other part is the supply is under 200. Any type of whitelist you ever want on Bitcoin, Ordinal Maxi Business will end up getting it. Again, I saw it when it was 0.5, and now it is at 4 Bitcoin. So that's over $90,000 that I just watched go down the drain. And I can't do anything about it. So I just end up telling people about it.
Poor
So
bastard.
I know. I feel really
You
bad
son of
because
a
I was telling
bitch.
some of my friends, I said, if I would have got that, I probably would have quit my job.
Well, let me go wake up Mason and have him draw you a picture. You can put that online somewhere.
I know.
Trust me, school just ended, dude. I got plenty for you. I got
Oh,
plenty
I
of
bet
pictures.
you do.
I got plenty of pictures that look exactly like that.
So I wanted to talk about that. Then the other thing I wanted to mention is, so the SEC is suing Binance and Coinbase. The funny part about this is they're suing Coinbase for not having the proper cryptos, aka like securities, on their platform. And the bad part about it is they are saying that they've had these securities on there for multiple years and they are unregistered. But Coinbase is a public company. So essentially, you let them go public and you want to sue them for something that you should have told them about before they went public, which is why a lot of people now don't really care about Coinbase or Binance, these lawsuits. It's more so going to just be civil suits. They have to pay a little bit of money and then it just goes beyond the wayside. But also, people are believing that the government is trying to do this so that they can end up getting in more Bitcoin, like cryptocurrencies, or like other countries can do it, because the price of Bitcoin went up after the lawsuit happened. Whereas before, when this stuff happened, the price would end up dropping. So that's kind of been something that a lot of people have been speculating and talking about. I kind of just let it go because I'm trying to focus on other NFTs and cryptos that I'm trying to get into. Not going to show Steven the other one that I'm actually buying. But we're going to go into the other topic that I wanted to bring up. And as we segue this over into the financial component, it's going to be 3 different things with sports. The first thing, so there's this guy named Andrew Petcash. Do you follow him?
No.
Okay. So
Should I?
Andrew, for the financial aspect, he kind of is the new version of like Darren Ravel. He goes more in depth than Joe Pompliano does with his stuff. But this is the first thing I wanted to talk about. A lot of times, and I was talking to my brothers about this, because a lot of times people think that all athletes make so much money or why they want to get these max deals, because they don't even see a lot of it. Like, you look at Jamal Murray's deal, he gets 31.6 million. And then if you just break it down, well, it goes to federal tax, and Colorado takes a lot of money too. And then you got to pay your agent, and then the jock tax. So a lot of people don't understand what the jock tax is. They make so much money in all these different states that it's a tax that all athletes end up having to be taxed. It's a stupid tax, but
I mean,
they have
it's
that.
basically just like it's their job though, but it's like they're playing where their job is, like in
Correct.
all the states. So that's
Yep.
why a lot of guys want to play for in Florida or places that there was no taxes, and that's why a lot of players hate playing in California.
Exactly.
Play so many damn games and taxes are outrageously high. So I think Seattle, Washington State's another one that doesn't have taxes. So I think that's like, Jay Hill loved playing with the Seahawks because you don't have to worry about it. But especially if you play in California multiple times a year, you're getting dogged. I don't know how much money,
Yes.
but a ton.
Yes. So I'm glad you brought that up, because then here's it should end up coming up of the taxes for each state. I was looking at this earlier as well. So for the individual, like,
God
income
damn.
tax, California is 13.3. If you look at us, so Virginia is 5.75, Maryland is 5.75,
But
DC,
Seattle
which
does
is,
have taxes. Okay.
yeah, so they have, this is an income tax. They have like all the various different taxes, but yeah, Alaska doesn't have it, Texas doesn't have it, Nevada doesn't have it. And that's why you see some players want to go play in Florida, or they love Texas, or why Michael Irvin and them have these big ass houses, and you wonder why they never leave. That's why I don't understand why Hawaii has an 11% tax, but that's its own little thing. But the other part I wanted to bring up, because we talked about Florida, and here's what Jimmy Butler brings in. So Jimmy Butler, clearly there's no Florida tax. You have to pay a federal tax. That's a lot of money you pay a federal
Bro.
tax. Damn.
Yo, that is such a big number.
And that's what eats them.
16.7.
So
Oh
they
my
always
God.
talk about oh, there's no state tax. And I'm going to try and do quick math for you guys on this just to see how much more he gets taxed than Jamal Murray does. So he has to pay 37% in federal tax. Jamal Murray, they pay exactly the same. They both pay that. So it just shows you that.
But it's like, so scroll back up to Jamal Murray for a second, because Jamal Murray's contract is $31.65 million, right? Salary for the year. I mean, sign me up for bringing home. I know it's a shit ton less, but like, sign me up for bringing home $13.43 million.
Hell yeah!
Like, sign me up, bro.
Like, that's straight your money. Like that, that's after taxes.
Like, and it's not like these guys are stupid. Like, I mean, well, never mind. They might be, but they might be dumb, but not stupid. Like, they know, like, and their agents break it down. That's why the Lamar Jackson thing took so long. There's so many of these details that, like, you just, like, an athlete himself just doesn't know, and they don't teach him about it. You know, we can go into that. That's a whole other different subject. Those are crazy numbers as well for Jokic. Yes. $46 million. He brings home $24 million. Like, yes. Bro, like, what? Like, these guys know what they're signing up for, though. Like, it's not like they get this contract for $40 million and they're like, oh, dope. I'm going to make $40 million this year. Like, they obviously don't think that. They obviously know. That's why they try and negotiate all these big deals, because, you know, it takes off. You know, I mean, look how much money is taken off from that. That's over what? That's like $23 million. Yeah. And it's like, boom, like, there it goes, like, gone. And that's why they negotiate these deals. So, like, more power to these guys, obviously, for, you know, holdouts and things like that. They're doing it for a reason. It's not because they don't want to play. It's because of reasons like this. They want to get as much money as they can. Guys like look at Saquon Barkley, for example. He's not going to get that top tier money, but he's like, I'm going to get as close as I can to that as humanly possible, because of reasons like this. It's different from sport to sport, obviously, with the different fees and all. Like, the NFL is way more. They'll tax you for walking up the bus. So it's shit like that. But, like, that's why these guys do this. And, like, we get pissed about it because they miss the season or, like, come to training camp late. But, like,
they have to look out for themselves.
You're right. They got to look out for themselves, their family, all the people that they're taking care of, which sometimes is way too many. Like, they're taking care of a whole town. But, like, at the same time, it's like, yes, like, on the surface as a fan, I get pissed. I'm sure you do too. Every fan does get pissed when they're like in training camp for these types of reasons, and they come into the season and, you know, whatever, like, they're sluggish and it takes 4 or 5 games and yada yada yada, all that kind of stuff. But, like, again, they're doing it for a reason. Is because they want to get as much money out of these contracts as they can, because they know that, like, they're going to get taxed a shit ton of money, all the fees from state to state, yada yada yada. And then, I mean, we don't have to get into, like, rookie contracts or, like, you know, 6th or 7th round pick contracts that are basically, like, you know, $10.
That's really what it is.
You know, it's like
guaranteed.
Yeah, it's like, it's super unfortunate. And, like, they say the guaranteed part's always, like, wishy-washy as well. But nonetheless, like, sign me up, bro, for $24 million a year. Like, yes, I'm not gonna say no to that.
Absolutely not.
Only in sports.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we talk about all the time. Sports. And you wonder why Lamar Jackson wanted to not have an agent. This man has to pay $1.4 million to his agent.
Right.
So he has to pay $1.3 million to your agent.
His agents get cooked with money too, as well.
Yeah. Then imagine how much the agent makes.
And especially those guys that are representing 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 plus players. If they're like, and there's a few of those guys or girls that do that represent that many. It's not a large majority of them, because there's obviously basketball is different because there's not that many players, but, like, nonetheless, like, those guys are not representing that many players. But yeah, agents, they get their bills.
Yeah. So the next thing I actually wanted to bring up, it's this one. I'm going to try and find the other article that I was looking at. But it's the Live Golf and the PGA Tour, for multiple reasons why I wanted to bring it up. The first one is, if anyone remembered when different athletes were ended up signing there, one athlete that didn't sign there was Tiger Woods. And when you look at how much he lost out on, apparently they were saying it was like $800 million.
800 mil. Yeah.
$800 million.
I don't know how accurate that is, to be honest. Like, that's a lot of money. And I know they were giving out, $1 billion contracts to everybody, but like, would I be surprised? No, but like, oh, did you see Bryson DeChambeau's interview on CNN?
No.
Sure. Man, it was bad.
This one?
It was rough. Yeah, it was rough.
Oh,
He's
Jesus.
getting so much shit for it. Yeah, it was rough. I don't know why they
Oh
put
my
him on there,
God.
but nonetheless, like those
But
are staggering numbers. Staggering.
and they turned it down because people didn't think that it was going to happen. And this will also segue into the next story that we're going to talk about. But in terms of this, what are your thoughts
On the merger?
on the merger, how it ended up happening, what's going on?
So, all right. So there's a lot of like details with it that we don't have to get into because there's just like the whole backstory with the Saudi government. If you're not up to speed on that, you've been missing a lot. I don't do politics, but even I know that. That is one thing, and how it's funny because like when that all that started, there were certain guys like Phil Mickelson, for example, would use Phil because he's Phil.
Mm-hmm.
He said he would never do it because of what the Saudi government does or did or whatever behind closed doors. All the blood on the money is kind of what they how they used it.
That
But he did
money.
it anyways, and he walked back his comments, and he sounded very hypocritical. And then Jay Monahan, I believe his name is the PGA commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
um, he said a handful of months ago, less than a year ago, about the Saudi government, like basically the same thing. Like, we're not gonna do that. And he then also obviously walked back those comments, and now it sounds very hypocritical. And he admitted
Mm-hmm.
to, like, he's like, yeah, that people are gonna say that's hypocritical, and like rightfully so. But like I don't know, it's just like so much more deeper than that. Like, it just kind of I don't even know if it's like if it bothers me as much as it's just like I don't even know, like, just with like on like the background behind the Saudi government, it's just not good, right? Like, it's not a good thing. It's not a good look for the PGA Tour to join to merge with Live after all the shit talking that everybody did on both sides, and now they merged. Now,
Yes.
Live also had to, the side, like, it wasn't just a one way street. But this isn't the same as like what Jay Monahan said at one point, and then now he's coming back and saying again, like, being a complete 180. This isn't like a player getting popped for PEDs. And like 6 months prior to that, they're like, I would never use PEDs. Like, I will never do that. And then
That's
they get
very
popped for it,
different.
and they get popped for it, and like, oh well, it is what it is. Like, my apology. That's not the same thing. This is
Mm-hmm.
like this is way different. Just because there's so many levels to the Saudi government and what they did and how they did it, and the quote unquote blood money and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I we'll see what happens. Like, we'll see how the next 2 or 3 years go, because it's like, what's golf going to look like in 2 or 3 years?
Dog,
Like,
I know.
I mean, I like to really care about it. You have to. I don't know. Golf is just such like I'm not gonna say a sacred sport, but it kind of is. It's like it's played a certain way. Like, golf is played a certain way. You can play basketball and football and like baseball. You can kind of fine tune some things. Golf is golf.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no, like, golf is golf. Like, it's played a certain way. Like, that, and I'm not trying to sound like a 65-year-old white guy and be like, there's a golf etiquette and shit like that, but there is. Like, there's this. It's golf. Like, we've like a golf at like the Masters is like, that's golf. And that's pure golf. What the Live does with the shorts and the 54 holes and the shotgun starts, like, that's some bullshit. Like, that's not golf.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weekend that you go with your buddies. Like, that's
Yeah.
what Live Golf is. A weekend that you're just hanging out with your buddies, playing a couple of rounds. So I don't know. We'll see what it looks like in a year, I guess. I mean, there's a ton
We'll
of
know a
tournaments.
lot. Yeah.
There's a ton of tournaments during the year, so we'll see how things look in a year's time, and then 2 years, and we'll see what guys like Rory or Tiger and Phil and all those guys are saying about each other, or saying about golf, the game of golf itself. So I don't know. There's a lot that's going to play out, and I don't think it's going to be good things, but I'm hoping that all those guys still love like the game of golf enough to like keep it where it's at. Like, keep it where it's at, like on like the PGA level. not like live with like the shorts and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do sound like a 65-year-old white guy, but that's neither here nor there. But again, that's just how I feel because I love golf, always have. It's always been one of my favorite sports. So this shit always like bothers me about it. But I don't know. So you're not really like the biggest golfer. You and I have different levels of golf appreciation. But what do you think? What's your you know hot take or opinion on this?
So I'll give the overview, then I'll end up going into this specific one. The Saudi government said that they're planning to spend $20 billion on different sports, which just shows you how much money they have. But it kind of just shows a lot of people are forgetting about their morals and everything like that and what they stood for to be like, yo, this money comes first. I think it will change a lot because even though I didn't watch necessarily the tour year round, I knew about like Augusta National was the one that everyone always looked forward to. And they had various other ones, but how are those going to look? Like, is the Saudi government going to end up putting their hand in that, or are they still going to let all the different tournaments and the opens happen the way that they normally happen?
Like,
So,
are we gonna call it like the Saudi Masters tournament? Like, are we gonna
exactly.
start? Like, we gonna start? Is that like? Oh, they can put so much money down. Where we gonna start calling it like you gotta throw the Saudi word in there like every time there's a tournament. I don't know. Shit's gonna be weird.
I really need to know, are these people selling their souls? Or is
It
it
has
just
to be.
something has to happen. Like those athletes, you're getting 400,000, 500 million. What is in your contracts? They're not just saying, hey, just come play for us. So something has to be in it. You have to probably visit Saudi Arabia X amount of times. You have to probably do certain tournaments over there X amount of times.
Bro, they must have their families locked up, chained up somewhere, and
Easily,
a gun to their head
easily.
because they're not fucking
Something
around.
has, you turn down 800 million. What has to be possessing you for Tiger to say no to 800 million? Something has to be going on because I don't think I could say no to 800 million. They could say
Only in
so much
sports.
stuff only in
Only in
sports.
sports can you turn down 800 mil and still have a cool you know, and like I mean, Tiger's maybe not the best example because he's probably got 800 mil in his bank account already, so like, he maybe
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need it because I don't know what he'd do with the rest of that.
Yeah.
But yes, I only in sports can you turn down 800 mil because you say, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah. Nobody else is going to do that.
No,
And it kind of brings me over to the other topic that I wanted to touch on. That kind of goes with the Saudi government as well, because they tried to get this player. And the one, the only, Lionel Messi, has verbally committed to playing for Inter Miami. And so before I even get into this, as soon as it happened, I texted one of my friends, John. As soon as it happened and I found out the news, I instantly paid for season tickets for next year for Inter Miami because I'm
how
like,
much
I
that
don't.
cost you?
So it was only a deposit you had to put down just to reserve it. Because right now they're saying season tickets are around $1,200 for like front row at midfield for Inter Miami game because they're the worst team in the Eastern Conference.
They also
Um,
have like a 10,000 seat stadium compared to,
yeah,
I think it's like 18,000 compared to where he
yep.
was
So
playing,
it's
which is like 80,000, 90,000.
Yeah, so it's 18,000 seat stadium, but they're in the process of upgrading, and their new park that they're going to have won't be done until 2025. If they
Obviously.
can keep Lionel Messi until 2025 and be like, all right, we're good, that'll be so great. For numerous reasons. One, with Lionel Messi going there, they were kind of comparing it to like Michael Jordan when he came to the Wizards, because it was like on the back end of the career. I can't agree with that. I think it's similar to a LeBron-esque going there. Only difference is LeBron was still able to control a game. You don't realize Lionel Messi's not going to control a game the way he used to, and he also has good pieces that are with him. Plus, a one player in basketball can't do the same as one player in soccer. Like, you can't play defense. Your offense can be stellar, but if that back four or five is not good, none
Don't
of it
matter.
matters.
Don't matter.
So, but the reason why I brought this up to help us segue into the sports aspect is his contract. I read the structure of it. This is the first of its kind for the MLS, and they were wondering how in the world is he going to end up not go to play in Saudi Arabia like another player that just went there, Benzema. who just got a 3-year, like $600 million contract to go play in Saudi Arabia, where Cristiano Ronaldo also is. But he's going to have his contract. Then he's going to get some of the Apple revenue that comes in. Then he's also going to get the Adidas revenue that comes in from the MLS. And on top of that, he's going to have ownership within Inter Miami. And I was telling people, because at my job, a lot of people like soccer fans, European soccer fans too. I said, they have to be thinking about bringing somebody else. This has to be like a step for something else. We've seen others come play for the MLS, like Wayne Rooney did it, Ibrahimovic did it, Thierry Henry did it. But Messi going to play for an MLS team at Inter Miami is a huge thing, especially because David Beckham did it himself, but David Beckham is an owner of Inter Miami. So I think that's an important thing just to kind of see. Another thing is they have a League Cup that happens in July, and that's the speculation of the game he should end up appearing. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, just because of like transfer rules and like when one season finishes compared to another season. But if he does, he's supposed to play at the end of July in the League Cup. Tickets before it happened, I was looking at the tickets online right when it happened, because I saw Twitter 30 minutes after the news broke, and Twitter said tickets were like $29. That shit went up to $400.
That's fucking
after
crazy.
It happened. And that is the Lionel Messi effect. And that's what's going to happen. That's the reason why I said, let me get home tickets for it. Hell, I might even just go to one of the games. But I also need to know how much they're going to be jackasses about this and annoying ass, like stingy people down there, because they're going to skyrocket the season ticket price. If you have him, it's not going to be $1,100 for one seat at midfield. That shit might become like almost $1,300 to $2,000. It's going to be a little higher. I know that they want to make some money, but also if you're paying this man an arm and a leg, I don't know. But they will get more games on TV. I can promise you that any game Messi is playing will be a game on TV. What are your thoughts? I know that the way you feel about golf is the way I feel about soccer, but what are kind of your thoughts when these names that everyone knows about kind of comes here?
Well, I think that can only grow the game, right? Mm-hmm. Like it can't hurt soccer. Like in no way can this hurt soccer, right? Mm-hmm. Like it can't have any negative impacts on soccer. So I think that's probably priority number one is, like they're gonna have to showcase him as much as humanly possible. They're definitely gonna be playing games outside of their stadium for sure. They're gonna be playing it like where the Dolphins play at. I'm guessing they're, if they go to another city, like they're gonna do it like logistically, where if they're going to like, I don't know, like Dallas. And does Dallas have a soccer team? MLS?
I think it's called like Dallas FC.
All right. Well, I'm sure they play in a very smaller scale arena, right? Or stadium.
A lot of them do. Yeah.
Yes. So you could only imagine that, and I know the dimensions are not the same, but they're going to find
FC Dallas.
They're going to find somewhere where they can play like at a bigger stadium where they can fit 40, 50,000 people in there. They have to.
That's easy money for you.
Right. And this isn't a domino effect, obviously. Like this isn't going to bring every big name soccer star over to the United States. That's just not going to happen because soccer is not what it is, obviously, over in Europe. But I think you'll see some, maybe some small dominoes that happen with like maybe another like, B tier players come over here. And especially if he's here for like, I don't know how long is his contract for that he's signing with him.
So that hasn't been announced yet, but he's 35 right now.
Wow, he's old as shit in sports. I know. Damn. Old as shit in sports, man. That's old as, I thought LeBron's old, and like 35 is old. Because I think what they say, the athlete's prime is 28, 32. That's like their prime years.
He's coming off winning the World Cup, so I think that's the other thing people are hyped for.
35 is tough. So he's probably got like, I don't know, three seasons. I would say that they're not giving him more than the 4-year deal because of how old he is. But you also have to wonder if there's like a ambassador role that they want him to play as well. On top of being who he is and being, you know, arguably the most recognizable soccer player in the world aside from Cristiano Ronaldo. Like those two are probably the most recognizable athletes in the world, aside from maybe like LeBron, you know, but on a global scale for their sport, yes, by far. So look at Wayne Rooney. You mentioned him. He plays in DC. Like he was, you know, he's not what he was, obviously. When he was doing his thing, what he played for England or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Look at your boy.
He did good. I know.
Dropping names and countries.
He did exactly.
But like, I would imagine there's going to be some ambassador role that he plays as well. Messi, that is. Comes to Miami. Miami's obviously the most international city in fucking the United States. So I would imagine there's something along those lines going on. Like, it's not just like, hey, come put on a jersey and come run up and down the field a couple times and like, you know, wait for the crowd and like, you know, maybe try and score a goal. Like, no. Like, go play your ass off for 3 seasons, whatever it is going to be. We'll say it's 3 years. We'll give you your money. They're going to have a new stadium. I'm sure they're going to want him. You said 2024. I'm sure they're going to want him to play at least 1 season in that, maybe 2 to get things off the ground, and then be an ambassador for the game, like the global aspect of things. Like, they wanted to come to the United States. It's been hovering. It's like been buffering at a certain level, but like there's nothing that can really bring it over like the top. And again, we talked about this before. I don't know what sport right now soccer is competing with in the United States for like notoriety. Like football, basketball, baseball, all up here, right? Not even on the screen. Golf is up there as well, especially with what's happening now. There's going to be way more eyes on the game of golf. Tennis, you don't know the names as much in terms of like Federer, Nadal, Jokic. Those guys are getting mad old as well. But like tennis is still pretty popping. So like, is it close to tennis? Like, what is it competing with? Like, how?
I think they're trying to get to the hockey level. I know they're not at the top ones yet.
Hockey is like not off the screen here, but it's like it's there now. Connor McDavid, if you know, if guys like him start to, because you're losing Crosby and Ovechkin in like 3 seasons, that's not good for hockey. I know Connor McDavid.
No, that was hockey.
Yeah, I know Connor McDavid is fucking lights out. I know he's the guy right now, but like losing guys like that, that's like we lost D Wade, we lost Melo. When LeBron goes, dude, I'm telling you, man,
rough.
Like,
that's rough.
Telling you, I know we're still gonna have Durant, Curry, all those guys, but when fucking LeBron retires, dude, basketball is going to suffer greatly, big time. Like,
it was something about him.
You can name all the guys you want to in the league right now: Jokic, Giannis, you know, John Morant when he's not doing his thing. Like, you can name all these guys, but like they're not LeBron. No. And you know, in hockey, Connor McDavid might be the guy, but he's not Sidney Crosby or Alexander Ovechkin. And you know, to Messi, it's like, what do they want? Like, what are they expecting for him, like long-term wise? Like, do they, you know, not just like play well, like be competitive, like make them a competitive team, but like bring in more guys, like bring in a couple guys here and there. Like, you know, do the seasons match up? By the way, this is the most I will ever talk about soccer.
I know you
I have no idea. I know. I have no clue how I'm still going. I have no clue how I'm bringing all this shit back to soccer. Yeah, like, I have never done that in my entire life. But like so like just do like the Premier League and all that stuff that happens over there. Like, obviously you have guys from the MLS that play in those. Like, do the seasons line up at all? Or like, I'm sure they have to at some point.
So it does, because it kind of ish, because there's so many random different tournaments and stuff that happen within the Premier League.
Right.
I know they have different ones where the Premier League will play against like La Liga, and then they have the Championship Cup. So there's various different things that happen this season.
But let me wrap it up with this on soccer. Like, I just want to know like what they expect from him. Like, is it the ambassador role to like bring the global eyes to the United States, to the MLS, to like just get those ratings up like a little bit, a couple percentage points, and just get maybe a couple more 100,000, a couple more million eyes on the MLS, and then start to grow it that way. Because like you need a guy like that to do so. So there's that aspect of things. Aside from him playing like one of the best players in the world and one of the best soccer players ever, football. What do they want to get out of him? That's kind of what I would like to see.
Yeah.
So it's June 7th. The next 6 months, bro. I won't say a fucking word about soccer the rest of the way.
You're right.
I'm done.
I'll take all of it.
I tapped out. I'm
Last
fucking
thing I'll say
dehydrated
about
now.
this
I'm
is
parched. I'm thirsty.
Last thing I'll say about soccer in terms of Inter Miami, they have to get somebody else with it. It's great to get this rock star talent, but you have to figure out a way to just get like one more. If you have one player that's elite on each team, you're straight. I was telling someone at work, and then I'll switch to the Heat Nuggets game. The big thing with this is the MLS All-Stars aren't playing against the MLS All-Stars. That's how you know we don't have enough good players. The MLS All-Stars are playing against Arsenal, and they're going to play against the elite Arsenal players maybe for a half. Then they'll play against like the B League team. And that's when you know your team is not on that same level. They could take it easy against these MLS players if they really want to. So you want to get it to a point where the MLS All-Stars are playing the MLS All-Stars, and it's a hype game to see. You see that in the NBA. You see it in the NHL. You see it, I guess, in football. It's not really that. Nope. But in those type of sports, you see that. But I want to go into, damn, he really thought Jimmy could catch that.
Yeah. But that was a break.
But I want to talk about, you said what?
Bam's got 11 and 10.
Yeah, it's solid so far. The other thing I wanted to bring up was the Miami Heat and the Nuggets game. So it's tied in the series 1. Do you still believe that the Nuggets can pull this out? And what are your takeaways right now?
Yes, I do believe the Nuggets can pull it out, because if you're asking me if I'm picking, I guess, who's the second best player on the Heat, Bam, behind Jimmy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're asking me if you ask me if I'm taking Jokic and Murray versus Jimmy and Bam, I'm gonna take Jokic and Murray, obviously. But these two games are, I mean, crucial. Down in Miami, Miami just plays a different style when they're home. And shout out to the Miami crowd who showed up on time.
Because they don't be showing up.
No, they don't, and that's not even like. And the arena is not really like near South Beach, where like everything. I mean, it's maybe like a 15-20 minute drive, but like I can remember. I went to spring break in Miami. Quick story. I went to spring break in Miami with Kumar. Shout out to Kumar. That was during the Heat's 27 game win streak, the year they won their second title, with LeBron and those guys. But like no one was at the game. Like there was like it was like a Wednesday, Thursday night during March. So like it was like there wasn't many people there. Like it was crazy. I'm like, these guys don't like, it was like their 20th win in a row. I'm like, these guys are winning 20 games in a row. And no one's at the, like, everyone's showing up like end of the first quarter, mid first quarter. And everyone's wearing white and all bougie and shit.
I think I saw DJ Khaled.
Yeah, absolutely. He was there. Buddy. He was there. He's probably got no idea where he's at.
No. Half the time.
He's a fucking goof, bro.
Yo.
He is a fucking wants to goof, a big ass goof. He does everything he wants whenever he wants to do it. Just goof.
So I wanted just to say one thing quickly, and I was telling people again, like today, this is a must win for the Nuggets. I don't think they need to go down 1-2 or 2-1, and then he get momentum. You got to try and tie that series back up, and then you end up taking it back to Denver. All right, you might win that, but the Heat are going to come out to play. Jimmy's already wearing his shirts. People did not expect this game to be as close as it was. Jokic is clearly going to have a triple-double, maybe even in the first half.
Aaron Gordon, God.
But
pissing me off.
Oh, you are definitely minutes ahead of me. But that was the last thing I wanted to bring up over there. What do you got for everybody?
Some real life shit. Some real shit right now. I know we don't talk a lot about real shit, but finished up baseball season. First like little league baseball season for Mason. And obviously I coached him. So we had two other coaches with me. We knew all the parents. Like, it's cool. Like, we knew all the parents, and eventually, obviously, I know a lot of the kids. Like, now, obviously, I know them pretty well. But like, I knew a lot of the kids. I knew all the parents. So we didn't have little Jimmy Lipper's mom waiting for us in the parking lot after the game. Like, why isn't he playing, or why isn't she playing, or whatever. All the parents knew their kids' skill set, or maybe lack of skill set. So they were like, it was cool. And like, we stand out in the outfield with them during while we're while the other team's hitting, and like I can look over and like see the kids having like, doing shit in the outfield and whatnot, and parents are all just mingling. So it was like a good time. It was twice a week for like the last month. So it was a good time. But I will say I never wanted to told myself I never want to coach my kids, either one of my kids, no matter what. Because my dad never coached me. He coached my sisters, my two older sisters, but never coached me. And I did never want to coach my kids because I always wanted to enjoy their success from afar, like in the stands or just like, watch practice or whatever, just like my dad did. Not that I had that much success when I was in sports, but nonetheless, I always wanted to watch it from afar. So when I had the opportunity to coach, ask the coach Mason, I was like, I really don't want to do that. Like, it sounds like a lot of work. And like, it's not a lot of work. It was 4 to 6 year old little league baseball. Like you throw the bases down, toss them some pitches. And I pitched all season. By the way, your boy's gonna need some Tommy John surgery because I pitched twice a week, 3 innings a week. Like, I wasn't used to doing that. Like, I'm doing this like 6, 7 pitches a kid, and we had 12 kids twice a week. Oh man, my arm was ruined after 3 innings, bro.
You don't want to do anything.
And like, but it was like all the years of beer pong that I played finally paid off, because it's not like I was throwing from the mound. Obviously, I'm throwing maybe like 6 feet from the kids, maybe 10 feet at most. So you're just like lobbing it in there. But like each kid, stands a different stance, and either like they, crowd the plate or away from it. And like, it's different. But anyway, so I told myself I never want to coach my kids, but then I coached Mason for the last month. And like, I obviously like have done sports with him before, and I've taken him out in the backyard, and, we do that. But I will say it was dope to see how much better he got as we went on, and how much like he got into it, and how, like, Brooke would take our daughter to different events or different activities, whatever. Like, it was always me and Mason, and he would ask like, are we going to play baseball? Like, are we going to practice? So like, and I'd get, if we go to the playground or go to the park and like we play baseball with him, I would get like 15 minutes with him, 20 minutes. And like, that's enough. Like, that's all I need. Just to like get the swings in, hit some balls, like just do the reps. So, I don't want to coach him forever. Now I'll probably get sucked into the next couple of years with him, but like, I don't want to coach him forever. I don't want to do that. I just want to get him off on the right path and like understand the sport, understand like the X's and O's of certain sports that I know well. And like the sportsmanship, the gamesmanship and shit like that, and like having fun. And like, if he's into it, like, sure, we'll take it seriously, and we'll start diving into it when he gets older. If he doesn't like it, fuck it. Like, I don't really give a shit. Then stop playing it.
Exactly.
But it was really cool to see a lot of the kids get better as the season went on. You've obviously been in these sports for a while, so you know what I'm talking about. You see certain kids, whether it's year after year or like just game after game, get, maybe not significantly better, but like better. So that was cool to see. So I definitely, Mason had a, way more competitiveness as it went on, way more confidence. I mean, he's got a lot of confidence already, but like, he had a ton more when the season was over and like towards the end. So like, yeah, it was definitely, as a parent, I would say probably, aside from taking them to their first Penn State game a handful of years back, I would say that was the coolest thing that I've done, is coach him and be involved with it and see it up close, and like how much better he got, and see that week in and week out. So, shout out to the kids that we coached. Shout out to the parents for not being dickheads throughout the season.
Yeah.
Like, we had none of those. So that was dope. We're friends with a lot of the parents. So like, that just made things a lot easier. And you obviously know how that can go with the parents who are, thinking their kids the next Mike Trout, Tom Brady, whatever. So yeah, it was cool to see that throughout the season. And he doesn't have anything going on this summer. But we'll keep up with the baseball, and we'll do it next year, obviously. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it was pretty dope to go through that whole season, and just see him get better, the kids get better, and then just like overall enjoy the aspect of coaching a lot more than I thought I was going to, for sure. So So that was cool.
Yeah, I think so I'm in finance now for everyone that doesn't know that, but I used to be like coaching year round, all different sports. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Not that I'm a dad, but seeing them kind of grow up and seeing the kids get better and the ones that understand than the ones that just are picking the flowers every single time. And then the ones that just get excited about being able to get to the base, or you see the kid like hit the ball and then they run the wrong way. All those different things,
They're all there. They're all there.
all
All
there
of them.
every single
Everyone.
time.
Yep.
And then like you have the helmets that are falling off of the kid half the time.
Uh-huh.
So
Constantly,
yeah,
dude. Constantly.
yeah,
And like, you know, you have the kids and like you have the kids like Mason is I'm not like tooting his horn or anything, but like he's a like pretty athletic 4-year-old kid. And
mm-hmm,
like he understands things like when I tell him to like grip the bat up, like I said, like fix your feet, like he'll fix his stance and like do what he's supposed to do. I'm like throw to first, he knows where to throw it, or like he's got a good arm, he understands like I taught him how to like get in front of the ball and ground balls. Not that we did that during it, but like I just like taught him like some of the little things. Like that's what I mean by like get him started, teaching the little
mm-hmm,
things. Everything else, like his athleticism, awareness, everything that'll develop over time, obviously. But it's like the little things of sports, as well as I do. Like the X's and O's will come, but just like the nuances of certain games are just so important. Like that
yeah,
a lot of kids don't have them. They just go out and rely on, their ability or whatever. That'll get you places, but like won't get you as far as knowing like the ins and outs of certain things. So,
mm-hmm,
we tried to like teach certain kids that during the season, but like obviously, like
exactly.
then we're worried about like who's got the snacks after the words and shit like
Yeah,
that. So
exactly.
like
That's
I
what it
get it. I
was.
get it. They're 4 to 6. We had this one kid, Cooper. Shout out to Cooper.
Shout out.
Kid is, I think he just turned 6. Dad played college baseball, so the kid's got it. Like the kid's got, like we all see those kids like that got it. Whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
he's got it. And my man was swinging for the fences every time. And
Oh,
I finally figured out like he liked him high up in the zone, and he like swing down on him, but like he hit me the first at bat that he had during the season. This was like the first game. I took a line drive right back to the nuts.
oh,
And I'll
that
tell you
one.
what, man. Like Mason like pops me sometimes in there, but it's like a love tap, and me has done it a couple times like love tap. I haven't been hit that hard in the nuts in like a decade. Dude, it hurt so bad. Like it was like vibrating for like 20 minutes. I ran off the field like a little bitch. Like I was like coughing the whole. We've all been there. We all
Yes.
know you're trying to like find them up in your stomach. And
Yep.
dude, I was like, there's ain't no way I'm lasting the whole season if this
Oh
shit's
my
gonna happen.
God.
So you
Oh,
get like the bucket of balls and like I put it in front of me. So if I got a line drive, come back. But yeah, overall it was a super dope experience. And you've coached a lot longer than I have in that aspect. But like, yeah, it was a super dope experience, especially when your kid's the one you're coaching too.
yeah. That's the
Yeah.
big thing. I saw the dads do it all the time. But I wanted to end up saying two things. One, just seeing Miami. Miami's just going to continue to get more expensive. And I say that because the Heat are good. The Dolphins are coming up, are good. And then the teams that are going to be going down there, you're going to get every single day the same way John Morant like copies a rapper that says it's a parade in my seat. They're about to have parties all the time. The hockey team is good. The Heat are good. The
Hey, right.
Dolphins good.
The
The
Marlins are
soccer
still there.
team, the Marlins are down there.
Yeah.
And then you have Inter Miami or Lionel Messi. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just going to be something all the
Miami's
time.
already lit. So yeah.
Then you have the University of Miami. So you
Yeah,
have
that's different.
so it does not matter. They are just going to have parties all the damn time. So that's like talk about a sports area. Forget New York, like forget LA. No, you get the beach, you get the chill. Okay, you have the hurricanes, but you get all that. You choose. You want hurricanes or earthquakes? That's the one you're
Yeah,
going to get.
shit.
One or the other.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's just going to be lit there all the time. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is so I have to shout out
Kind of.
Roaring Tiger Golf Club. Mickey, he's been like I was talking to him because one of the homies, Sonny, aka Airmons, who always hooks me
Of
up with
course.
stuff, he got some t-shirts. And so the t-shirts he ended up getting, I said something, I said, yo, these are dope. And the guy ended up saying, yo, thank you for like shouting me out and saying that if you're interested in any of the shirts, like here, just no worries. So I was like, damn. So I'm the type that I can never just buy something for free. So I bought them, but then I ended up like minting one of his NFTs. It was like $10. So I got 2 shirts for $10. And I said, let me just pay for the shipping. He was going to give me the 2 shirts for free and then like not even have to pay for the shipping. So I said, yo, we got to end up like my friend who does a show with me. He likes golf. And I think it would be dope for him to end up like getting one. So I sent it to Steven. So he said, oh, for sure. And I said, you know what? We'll rock him on the show. Like, you're doing all this for us. We can definitely rock him on the show. So he said that he's going to try and get them out. So I'm hoping by next week he can end up having them both to us so we can wear them on the show. So that's the big thing that I wanted to end up bringing up, because what he's doing is he's taking care of everything. And I said, all right, dope. We can end up doing this for him. But
real quick, you'll see Stephen A. and Jalen Rose are built for Miami right now.
You know, they love Miami. Love Miami. So they are both wearing white suits.
Jalen Rose is ready to party.
Yes, he will be out there every single time. And he's going to be that one that probably is going to have a good ass time with it. Doesn't matter who. Okay, but they are going to be ready. But crazy. Other than that, that's all we got. Enjoy the Miami game. Until next time, we out.
Peace.